Hey, did you guys hear about this Dominican baseball player? Wandel Franco, I think is how you... I'm slaughtering
What was his name?
Wandel Franco.
Oh, there you go.
I think I said it right. I try to say it
They
with
call him Wander Franco.
Yeah.
Wander Franco.
I didn't want to say it the English way, but he's got some crazy allegations. No one knows him. He's a shortstop for the Tampa Rays. And he's got allegations based off him dating a 14-year-old girl from Dominican Republic. It's on his Instagram. He has pictures with her. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that he'll probably never be able to play in the MLB ever again based off whatever happens after these court hearings and stuff. So my question to you is like, that just seems crazy, right? But is that really something you could hold them accountable in the US of A? It's a different country.
I think so, because when I saw this topic on there, and I heard about this like a week ago, which is wild. Like it intersected with a few other YouTube videos that I watched, or they were mentioning in the comments. But I mean, even in the Dominican Republic, dude, the age of consent is 18.
Oh yeah, he's getting investigated by Dominican authorities.
And
wow. So there's an investigation happening over there.
And it's an
I think the question still stands though. Should committing some act, like some crime, doing something bad somewhere else affect your employment elsewhere? Or not even somewhere else. Like if I punch someone's face at some place, should I get fired? Like
I think it depends, right? Like it's complicated. I know that when I worked at way back when, because allegedly, a lot of this is all allegedly. Allegedly, if you got a DWI or something, you could be fired on the spot because one of the higher ups was very involved with the Mothers Against Drunk Driving charity. So that was kind of one of the frowned upon things, which is wild because everyone at that place drank way too much. but like it makes sense. I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, even as a person, if I had a buddy that like they went down to one of those countries and did like a sexcation or something to have sex with like minors, I would judge them as a piece of shit. Like I don't think that. I don't think that it would change anything if they'd be like, oh, no, it's legal in this country I was in. I'm like, yeah, you're still a fucking creep. Like,
I mean, yeah, personally, you can judge them, but lose your job over it, it's very different. I would say the most dramatic things like killing somebody or maybe some type of embezzlement. I don't know. Maybe that can probably hinder your job, but.
There was a white dude. I'm not sure if it was Thailand or Philippines. I'm not sure, but he just got arrested by authorities. It was a few months ago. For having sex with underage girls in Thailand. And that dude they were dragging him through the fucking street, bro. That shit was crazy.
You should definitely follow that country's or whatever visiting country you're at, rules and regulations for sure.
Yeah, but just asking, where's the youngest women? Like that's just weird.
Yeah,
like
and I think you should lose your job for that because like that's a sex crime, man. I don't know. I wouldn't want someone working at my office if they were like a sex criminal like that. Yeah. I wouldn't want that person as a coworker.
Even the legal age is weird. Even if I was like, I want 18-year-olds. I just need an 18. That would sound weird to me. Like I would be like, you're fucking weird.
Yeah. It's crazy too because I don't know if you guys seen pictures of this girl allegedly, Franco's girlfriend or whatever. Bro, she has like a 2-year-old kid. She definitely doesn't look her age, and mind you, nowadays, like you can't really tell ages of kids nowadays. You got like 12-year-olds looking like 16-year-olds. It's crazy. Like kids are playing sports and stuff.
I don't know
that.
About all that. I don't spend a lot of time.
Like in sports, there's a lot of. Let me rephrase that. In sports, there's 12-year-old kids, boys playing football, but playing with like 16-year-olds because of their body size and structure. They're just bigger. Kids are just bigger. You know what I mean?
I saw a video that there was like that 10-year-old boy.
Yeah, he has a mustache.
He was trucking people left and right. He looked like the Incredible Hulk on a field with regular people, but he was 10. Allegedly.
Is it the kid that had the mustache by age 6? He said he's like,
Yeah,
I grew this
I don't know if
mustache
that's
when I was
true.
6 years
But it
old.
reminded
He
me of
said,
the bench warmers when they ship in that Dominican player. He whips out the piece of paper. He goes, "I am 12."
Yeah.
But he's got children. He's drinking beers. He's like grown as fuck. To bring it back a little bit though, like even because following the country's rules, that's one thing, right? We're specifically, right, just to wrap up this case, right? This guy allegedly committed a crime in another country, right? It's not whether he followed the rules or right. He allegedly committed a crime in another country. And should he be fired for it, right? Mateo says yes. I personally think when you're a public figure, I think the rules are vastly different. So like I feel like he's one of the better players. He was named an all-star, all that stuff. He's one of the players that's like front facing the MLB. I think the MLB gets to say we don't want a sex criminal to facing our organization. I think that's fine.
For sure.
Even if he's not committed, even if they drop the allegations and it doesn't go nowhere, you think he should still be kicked?
No, I think if he is a sex criminal, right, sure. That's another thing, right? It does make me uncomfortable that if there are allegations about someone that society goes and they're like, all right, we're cutting them off, we're doing this, we're doing that, and they're excising that person from society, and then they turn out to be innocent, and then it's like what now? Like they got the terrible reputation. You already hit their money. All these situations, it's kind of messed up. Like,
yeah,
there should be corrections for that too.
Because he signed for like 11-year contract in November for like $100 million or something like that. Like, are you really gonna? And then he has an option. Yeah. He's worth $223 million. Like, you really gonna drop him if he's not proven guilty for that? I don't think you should. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit. His reputation's tainted now, but I don't know. I think there's.
I don't know. My mom always used to tell me, "Don't hang out with bad people, or else everybody's gonna think you're bad." So I personally wouldn't be in the business of taking pictures and hanging out with 14-year-old girls that have 2-year-old children that are clearly sexual active, and I personally would not be in that situation. And I don't want to say that it's his fault for being there, but it was a stupid move on his part.
Absolutely.
If he didn't do it, he's an idiot for being around these types of people.
Yep. At the bare minimum, dude's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder how it came out, too. Like, I wonder who's the one that just searched into this. Because this obviously had to have happened before.
I think it was Dominican. This obviously had to have happened
saying, like,
before.
they have to have a relationship before he became signed. Like, I don't think this is, like, what?
I mean, he got signed like 3 years ago. You're saying he was with her when she was.
I mean, no. I'm saying no. I'm saying like this doesn't happen. Like they probably had a relationship now for maybe a year or so. Like why? Like what triggered it now? Like who snitched? Someone like
what is that? What is that based on?
Yeah. What if he just went there to hang out in this country and he just had sex with her? No.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that.
So that makes it worse. That means he just went there just to pop and just came back on some vacation shit. That sounds crazy. I mean,
it's just all bad. Like all of it just sounds bad.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad. It's worse if he's been in a relationship with a 14-year-old girl for years. That's way worse. Mm-hmm. But regardless,
he's an idiot for that.
It does make me uncomfortable though when like. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and reading articles and stuff about this. Where it might be in Atlanta, this like newspaper company, and maybe not a newspaper. What the newspaper? But people that publish news, whatever, right? A news organization, and people have been writing into them saying, "Yo, like, get my name off these articles. I can't get a job," like, and. They are having like this crisis where they're like, well, we were reporting the facts. Those were the facts. But also like this person got a DUI like 8 years ago. Should a job, an employer find this article and refuse to give them employment every single time because of that? Like, when does a person have the right to be forgotten by society,
That's interesting because you can get your records expunged potentially depending on what you have, But if the news organizations have put it out there, you're still searchable. And I mean, Googling people, searching people is absolutely a part of the hiring process now. Like, it's not from personal experience, but that's what it has felt like. That's my anecdotal experience that I've heard from other people in hiring spots, that like that is part of it. It's a social media search, it's a Google search to see if there's any red flags in your history.
Yeah, I know
that shit feels super messed up to me. Like they're mulling over like, oh, what should we do? It's handled on a case by case basis. They don't have any systems in place or anything like that. Like one lady was like, oh, but this guy killed someone, and the other guy's like, yeah, it was in self-defense. Like he defended his life. Should there be an article saying this guy killed people and it messes up his prospects of getting a job? Like, I don't know. It just makes me very uncomfortable.
All jobs go through your social media. That's why they say when you apply for a job that like you really want or some type of promotion, they say to deactivate your social media for that time until you get hired.
You think it's gonna flip in a few years where we're gonna try to conceal our children as much as possible from social media because all of the negative ramifications from
100%.
that we're like not gonna allow them to make profiles and stuff like that. I feel like it's coming.
Things are gonna get way dumber in this country if we don't. I think. I hate social media.
Look what happened to Trayvon Martin, right? They fished up those pictures from his social media of him like with grills and, you know, doing the Florida pose and shit like that. And look at this gangster, like, you know, to like paint him poorly. And it's like, yeah, he's also a fucking kid. So it's like kids do dumb shit. So like it's hard to say like, oh, this person posted these pictures when they were a child. It's like, yeah, that must mean that he's a bad person. It's like, how far does that follow you now? Like when when you're 20 something trying to get a job and they got pictures of you with grills doing these, throwing bows and shit, like, is it going to be harder for you to get a job? Like, are you going to have this perception of like a hoodlum or something? Like,
yeah, like you said, there should be some type of like list or some type of structure that they should follow based on that. Like if it's something 10 years ago, can you really judge a man off of 10 years?
Depends on the crime, right?
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, there's some levels of